All right, call to order. Committee of the Whole meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, public comment. Yes, before we get started.
Gail Kane, 1056 West Temperance. Well, here we are. Skate park, car park, and capital improvement. Skate park, you already heard some of my suggestions on that. You hate to take stuff away from the kids, you really do. It's just got to be done right, and we got to put in something really good. The repairs that have been made over the years have been friends and family of the political program, and that doesn't work. Those skate parks really take a lot of wear and tear, especially when you've got bikes using it as well. Car park, as I mentioned, I don't know if any of you went over and looked at your survey stakes where they're at, and that portion of where it's not mowed. If they're not talking what's mowed, I don't know that it's a good deal. The capital improvement plan, I don't care who you're getting your money from or where it's coming from. Your mission statement states that you're to be adding onto your properties. So ditch the crappy ones that are within the neighborhoods, sell them. That money, the township, if they're doing their due diligence towards the obligation of this park commission, should be putting those monies and setting it aside specifically for you to be able to purchase properties and for park things in the future. And if they've not done it already, then they need to backtrack. They know what they're getting for these properties. All of them should be bailed back out of the general fund and put into your capital improvement plan. That is being fiscally responsible on the board's part and would definitely be a benefit to the park commission. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. All right, we'll open discussion on the skate park. Anybody have anything?
Tear it down, invest in it, or move it? Yep. Realistically, and where I stand on it, and I don't know where you all feel, but the only thing I would go for is tearing down what's currently there because it's not useful, and the only way would be to invest in it and do it properly and have it concrete, just like you see up in Blissfield, and Morenci, I believe, has one. It's not going to survive putting board ramps up and doing it the way it's been done. It's just not how you do it. Doing it that route, being concrete, it's going to be expensive. Would we get approved for it? Who knows?
Right.
But we would not get approved for it. There's no.
I thought they wanted to use all the ARPA money. They were like, wasn't like the thing a few months ago? Like, oh, tell us to do something with the skate park because we'll give you $1 million. Or
We did tell them.
I thought that was like.
Gave them
We
the
didn't tell
list.
them what they wanted to hear.
I don't care. They can do whatever they want. I'll rubber stamp whatever they say. It's just like, what is.
Get some quotes on having it done. Have the, concrete, but put it on the board, because it'll come to us. And then we look like the assholes when we freaking vote no. Not you guys, you're trying to get the skate park done. That's what I would do. Because I'm going to support it. I'll vote yes for it.
I mean, there's so many factors. First and foremost, it couldn't be in a more disadvantageous place if you took all of our parks. Like, it is the least trafficked, most tucked away, hardest to, monitor spot.
Yep.
Like, who chose this spot? Thinking, I don't know. I don't know if it offends, but like, it's just such a bad spot.
I've been looking, and if it weren't for the trees, the southeast corner of White would be a great place for it.
East. Oh, like
On the other side of
near that parking lot.
At the end of the parking lot off Concierge.
Yeah, that'd be a great place for it. It's the right size. It's right there by the parking lot. It's right there by the road.
Southwest.
Do you know if those are oak trees or cottonwoods back
Over
there?
by tennis courts, pickleball, back in that corner. Yeah, not off the
Right
parking
there in
lot
that
off
corner by the
Concert.
big rocks. But,
By the tennis courts and everything.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Turn your mic on.
but you'd have to take down a pile of trees to do it.
Yeah, those are all cottonwoods over there,
And I
aren't
don't
they?
think it's worth it.
Yeah,
We as a park need more trees than we do skate park. Another
yeah.
Yeah.
It's really a bike park. It's not even a skate park.
Right,
I'm
that's
not
why you
sure
do it in
there's-
concrete.
Right. Well, like
You're going to have graffiti issues then, but you're not going to have ramps being ripped apart.
Well,
have a painting party every 6 months and cover it up. Like yeah, and then you put it in southeast corner of White Park against the neighborhood there. Every one of those neighbors is gonna.
I know. Right?
We'll never stop hearing the complaints on that and taking trees out.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was content to just continue being, neighborhood liaison man and showing up and, intimidating the teenagers to be good kids.
And every 4 years, it's going to cycle into a new group of teens that go through the same.
Right. But like that was going okay until, other people made it. It was going fine. Like it wasn't great. It wasn't,
But it's
whatever.
falling apart is the issue. It's
Yeah,
actually
if it were
falling
new,
apart.
I personally think
enough
the
kids might
location's
actually
fine.
care. Yeah, I think the location's fine. I think if it were new, enough
Yeah.
kids and people would care and utilize it that it might actually be upkept. The condition it's in now, no.
Okay, why don't we just take it down and see how much feedback we get from people who want it back up? We haven't had one person come to this meeting and say, "Hey, I love the skate park," or "Hey, the skate park
We had
sucks."
we had a
We've
few
had the
show, not
kids.
here. We had them show up when we were at Parmalee.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause
we
we were
haven't
at
had
Parmalee
one
and they
person
walked
come to our meetings in 3 years and say good or bad about the skate park, and yet it monopolizes a huge amount of our time. Why don't we just take it down and say, "Okay, let's see how it goes. You want it back? Come tell us you want it back.
Could certainly just
Don't miss it?
rip
Okay.
it all out.
And
all out.
stay silent.
Ripping
Rip it all out. And
It's a
then
hazard.
maybe-
It's apparently has
Make
to
a
be
motion
closed
to tear the
permanently
skate
anyway.
park out."
I don't know if we can do motions or.
Yeah, we
Never
can't
mind,
do
we
a
can't.
motion, but we can save it for our next meeting. It will be on the agenda for next.
Agenda for the next meeting.
So if we
Even-
tore
even if we
everything
were,
out,
who are we? What are we going to put it out for bid to tear it out or maintenance?
No, the maintenance.
Give it up for free. Just get it done.
Maintenance under that part, the kids are already tearing.
yeah, I know, right?
And I think as
Well, all the boards that are tore off.
Maintenance isn't mowing all winter. They've got plenty
They
of
got
time.
time.
right now,
Leave 6
township
hammers and
insurance
hatchets
won't
laying by the
insure
gate. It'll be,
Somebody's gonna have to be shut down.
So tear everything out and then let the fence and the cement sit there and.
Well, no, tear the fence
I'd
down.
take the
community
fence
feed
down.
us back. Let the community feedback what they want.
Tear the fence down and just expand the parking lot. Expand the park. Yeah.
Is the community feedback going to be my house getting toilet papered and egged because I'm the? You sure?
Well, it's technically closed right now and they can't use it anyway.
Right. They're not.
Yeah, I know. My daughter hears about
Other
it
than
all day
gaping.
long. All the kids at school are, tell your dad to do, you know. Oh yeah,
Really?
oh yeah, absolutely.
Tell them to
How old is
come.
your daughter?
Oh man.
She's a freshman at the high school.
Oh my gosh.
If that thing goes away, my house will be terrorized. Which, like, whatever. I mean, like, I'll deal with it. But like,
Hopefully we can do something better.
yeah. I mean, well,
That's the idea.
Start finding.
you got to
companies
but
and
one
get
step at a
quotes.
time. But like, no. I mean, like, the right process is rip it out first, like you said, and like see where it goes.
In the meantime, you can get somebody to get you an initial quote built up to build ramps.
But if the township,
right?
I'm not about to necessarily like start having
Waste
side
your
meetings
time on
with
getting a bunch
township.
of stuff.
No, like having side meetings with township to try to like gauge what they're gonna approve and what they're not gonna approve. That like if I take step 1, will you guys grant me step 3 when it's time for
Well,
step 3?
Like Todd's saying, if we put it on them, they're the bad guys.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think we tear it out.
Yeah,
If
tear out what's there.
If the honest, upstanding citizens that follow the rules want to come to us and present their case and say, look, we use this for baking cookies on the weekend, then great. Come bring us that and we'll do what we can to get something else built. If it's the nefarious individuals who wear masks at night and spray paint and tear things apart, they're not going to come here and sit to our meeting and say, hey, sir, can you please
Tore that out.
Yeah, can you please put our backstop back so we can spray paint it some more? It's not going to happen. So let's.
How much you think it would cost to like do it right? What is this like a
Put it in?
$250,000.
$250,000.
More than that. I bet it's going to be. Yeah.
Get started at $250,000.
200,000 to 300,000.
And that's the downside.
Well, then that's not happening. That's not happening.
That would be that would even downsize the area.
Yeah.
250. Really? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
easily.
Yes.
Concrete cost.
I'll
Yes.
send you the
Forming and-
specs that I have.
Not like 50 or 60. Huh? There's nothing good we're gonna get for 50 or 60.
You're living in
Not
2000, buddy.
concrete. Not concrete.
You could redo that wood.
Something for them to.
Holy moly.
You're living in 2000, man.
I guess so. I
Yeah,
mean,
they got to put edges on all of it and
It's-
railings around it. So
and
it
it's
can't
actually
fall off the
properly
backside.
finished.
Everything's
Not
got to be
marine finish.
everything's got to be reinforced with rebar.
the
wire.
idea that we would commit $250,000 to that
Right.
portion.
They have all these
of
ARPA funds to
that's-
spend, don't they?
Comes out of general fund now.
That's right.
Yeah, $250,000.
I mean, my taxes have gone up considerably, and like all I'm here for is to keep taxes down.
Yeah, $250,000 for the skate park because it's getting demolished and destructed, and we can't even get half of that money to put a walking path for the strollers and wheelchairs
Right. And
to go anywhere in the township.
So it ain't coming back. If we take it out, it ain't coming back.
Well, it's
Well,
technically not
I
allowed to
mean,
be used as is, so.
Always grants.
So the only path that I see it coming back is if there was a millage to bring it back.
And that's
Which
Well, in that case, like Todd said, we bring something to the table, so it's on the township.
on the township.
It's not on us.
You guys.
What are we?
It can't be used. The insurance will not cover
Nope.
it because
Nope.
it's just.
That's why it's locked.
So it gets torn out. You guys get a quote for nothing super fan, just a basic.
Half pipe, a couple ramps,
Ramps.
some rails.
Hey, you know what? This is what we got. You throw it on us, throw it on the board. We're going to vote yes or no for it. That way, hey, you know what? We want this. We wanted this for the kids. We wanted this for you guys. It's your township board that shot it down. It's not us.
I
Oh,
mean,
and then you guys can weigh whether you're going to spend the $250,000 to rebuild the skate park, or you're going to spend a $250,000 to appease the pickleballers and fix the pickleball courts at Carr Park, and then you can decide where that money's
I mean, like, I'm not worried about who's to blame, and we know what's going to happen.
not to
Like,
blame.
they're like whose feet it's at. It's just, I mean, like, it ain't coming back. Is what?
I mean, it could. You know, you never know. That's time will tell. I mean, if you
And
tear
if
it
the
down,
new board
if
wants
you
to
tear
go
it-
for a millage, then they go for a millage and get all this kind
or
of
if we
stuff.
tear it down, maybe all them kids go get
Fundraise.
great jobs and decide that they want a nice skate park for their kids and rebuild it.
Because right now it can't be open because our insurance won't
Right.
cover it.
Right.
Well, it's not even that they keep destroying it. It's just the there's portions of rot underneath. I mean, it needs serious.
There's loose screws. That's why
Yeah.
you don't do a board and
Damage.
frame
Yeah.
system anymore. That's outdated.
We said when we had the meeting at Parley, there's kids that show up there and back the screws out just so
Yep.
people can get hurt.
Yep,
So
for fun.
And then there's screws that just won't even hold anymore because the wood underneath's rotted.
Yeah. It's,
All right, so what I'm hearing is we're going to put it on our next meeting, and we will make a motion at that time.
yep.
Maybe.
Yep, just take it down. All right, let's move on to B, possibility of expanding Carr Park.
I'll take the lead on this one.
ahead.
Per public comment and what Gail had proposed too, if you look at the area and what it is, do we have any further information since our last meeting and waiting on them?
Do they know what
I-
they want for it?
No, they do not yet. Their issue was they're
can give it
not
to us.
sure because they were a nonprofit. They weren't sure they could sell it. So I talked to the township attorneys. I was waiting for one in particular to get back to me and did not. And so I called today and I talked to one of the other ones who was in the office. And he said, yes, there should be no problem. Their liability with the IRS is on them. He wouldn't, say what that was going to be. They'd have to talk to their person who does their taxes. But he says, yes, there's no reason they can't sell it because it's not like a side business for them. It's part of their actual church
Right.
parking lot area.
Well, the thing is, there's no reason we shouldn't look to expand our bigger parks whenever we get the opportunity to buy good land up against it.
I agree.
Agreed.
It's
If it's the area in question,
yeah.
there's no point in us getting it with the leeway on the railroad.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, we
that's
could get it. It would just
plain
affect
land
price,
that
and if we would,
If
Right.
it's the right price, it would be worth it.
We wouldn't be able to
We don't know what
develop
the price
anything
is
on
gonna
it.
be yet.
No, but a walking,
could do-
you know,
you could do
if
a
there were ever
BMX
to be a walking trail in through there,
You could do a
you
walking
could have it
trail.
go that way. I mean, it's just, and it's more green space because you never know. That church someday could, not get maintained properly over
Right.
years, get condemned and need tore down and become part of the park as well.
Right.
You just,
So we
Pending
need to
price,
explore that
pending the
some
area.
more.
yeah.
Yeah, until we have
Biggest
more
thing is-
info, we could sit and
It's between 2 and 2.5 acres, I think, is what they're guessing. We can't build on it because of the railroad right away egress, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, normally you're looking at 20,000 an acre around here, but yeah, if you can't build on it, it's not
Right.
worth.
Right.
It's green space.
Yeah, it's green space, and
It's
that's
gonna be green
yeah.
space for us. We can't put anything back there. A parking lot's too far from the road. You don't want to put a parking
Well,
lot
and we
back there.
can't
So,
connect through their parking lot to.
Yeah, we'd have to have
Right.
yeah, and then we'd have to have an easement.
and they did mention that when I talked to them last time. They said that's possible. That would be something they could work on. We could get part of their parking lot.
Well, that's what I was saying. I mean, if they want to sell part to where it's more of like an L shape that we're buying from them, and we split that parking lot and acquire half of it,
Well, then now it's making sense.
and it makes a lot more sense to purchase. It makes it much
But
more
that's-
valuable.
That's going to make it, cost more. But
Well, of course, but
But
it'd be worth
All
that.
pending
Yeah.
this.
so we need to talk some more.
And then at the end of the day, we can speculate as much as we want about how much we would like to buy it.
Right. It's
That would fall, then again, on the township board.
Right.
Sounds like
Right.
40 to 60K
No,
not even.
no.
less.
2 acres, 2.5 acres,
They just said 20 grand an acre.
If it's buildable.
if it's buildable.
If it's built,
not
so if it's
buildable.
not buildable, then
Not
it's
buildable.
like nothing.
We'll offer them something.
10 G's, maybe, not even 8.
Yeah, whatever it costs to split it, and survey it, essentially. Because the biggest thing is they just can't maintain it.
Right.
They're struggling to
They're
maintain it.
struggling. That's the problem.
The area that I looked at, because I went and looked at it, it looks like they quit maintaining it maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, and it's just
It's now growing up with poplar trees
I saw
and
it too, yeah,
cottonwoods.
There's low spots back there, so
right.
That's all well drained though. There's
Yeah.
big catch basins on our side of the property line, right over there. So it's never going to be like a flood area.
Not buildable means, like, could we put playground equipment?
Yeah, you just can't build like a
Playgrounds,
house.
You just
Yeah, you
can't
can't
have
put
a
a house.
building.
So, but like parky type stuff, I mean,
Yeah.
splash pads. Dogs.
Pickleball court.
Yeah, another pickleball court. I mean, like, so there are options. So
There are
we have,
options.
We have more options than others would because
Stick
we're,
your
yeah,
dog park
so
there.
Yeah.
makes sense.
Not big enough. Need more room.
We need more room for a dog park here. A couple of acres is
You
fine.
need 3 acres.
For what? For how many dogs? How many
You
dogs
gotta
do you
have
plan on
3
taking out?
areas. You gotta have 3 areas. You gotta have one in rotation all the time, one out resting. So you gotta have 3 areas. And if you talk about an acre apiece, then you gotta have room for parking and everything else. So at least 3 acres. And this is based on the Metro Parks and what they've done. I'm just not coming up with this number. I mean, it's
Yeah,
something that they've said before.
She's not wrong.
You know?
Too bad that lot on Temperance is closer. You just put parking there.
All right, so that's something, we're kicking the can down the road on this one too, because we can't make any decisions on this until they give us a price or decide what they want to do with it.
Oh, well, I mean, I would say if it's 10 or less, I would say yes.
Sounds like a slogan.
What? 10 or less, I would say yes. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But I mean, like if they say 10 or whatever, like I'd say that sounds like a good purchase to expand a great park.
Slogan already. Just unveiled it.
Campaign slogan.
Unless I'll say yes.
Dropping it too.
All right, so let's bring this to a close and talk about the capital improvement plan, which I thought by now we would have a new set of criteria. We do not, so we really can't even talk about that yet, other than what we would like to.
The criteria was like we said last time, where it's got to sit 5 or 6 years.
6
That's,
years.
that's supposed to be in
So if you
stone.
put money in it this year, that money can't be touched for 6 years. If you put money in it next year, 6 years from that year.
Right.
Is that the criteria you're saying?
That's
change. That's set.
So that's fact. That's
I-
the way they.
As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't exist. I would never use it and
Yeah.
never think that it even is a thing that exists.
What we're talking about is they want us to take like each building, like car park. What would it cost to replace that whole hall? Same thing with Samaria. What would it cost to replace?
No, not to
that
replace.
whole
That's
hall?
not. No, they don't want to
That's
take.
part of it. Yeah.
No, that's not what they mean. So like the hall. Okay, what's it going to cost to maybe replace the roof or replace all the floor or?
About 40,000.
So you're doing. The
Yeah,
whole
not
thing.
replace the whole building. I mean,
Okay, what is this?
the capital
Capital
improvement
improvement
So
Okay.
You're supposed to
it's
take
for
money
any
each
expenditure
year.
of repair or
Set aside.
replacement of over
Great, the township
$5,000.
should do that. We don't have our own money, so why is that on our business?
Because they want us to do the legwork.
Yep.
Yeah. No thanks.
I suggest
well, that's
them
fine.
Put $500,000 away.
Yeah.
Our job's done. All right, moving on.
But you have to designate it per
I think it,
structure,
you know,
per
in
park.
terms
I
of,
mean, you
in
got to
terms of
break
being
it
able to
down.
replace stuff at the parks, I think
For
even
acquisitions.
just looking at them, it would be good to put $50,000 a year away at each individual large park for future development and replacement of things such as the playscapes or expanding Anstead but they'll never fork out that kind of money towards the parks. I don't believe. I don't.
Exactly.
Year after year, I believe the parks are undervalued in this township. So I don't.
Us making a list of needs and priorities and time frames is a good thing. Us saying a dollar amount is preposterous.
No, and it's not going to be an exact dollar amount.
We've made
It's
that
a
list.
guesstimate.
But I mean, 6 years from now, it's going to be 3,000% more.
Never know.
Yeah, how would we even be?
Doesn't the insurance company have valuation on everything? If this building burnt down right now, the insurance company knows how much it costs to replace it because they have to have it insured for that, right? Yep. So why the hell can't they use the insurance values?
So they did for like the buildings,
good.
but they don't have them for they don't have anything for like the playscapes.
Yeah, that sort of thing we got to come up with.
So
Still, it's a guesstimate.
It's an entire guesstimate. One on the price of equipment, and two, you can make a $40,000 landscape. You can make a $600,000 playscape. What are you willing to do?
about $250,000 each.
Like, yeah.
Pretty much. Well, that's about the average of what ours are probably
the
worth
Miracle
now.
book and
Yeah,
look at the
that's-
things we have at Carr,
Right.
and how much that playscape costs.
Are our
That's a
playscapes
$250,000 playscape.
If there's a tornado that rips up White Park's playscape,
You would.
there's no insurance to get that replaced?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I would think.
Yeah, there should be.
I would think.
I mean, especially something that expensive.
Yeah, and I would think that the insurance company would have that.
It's as
amount.
much as a
And I
house.
would think someone interested in knowing the replacement value of said thing could just call the insurance company and say, "Hey, Mr. Insurance Company, or Mr. Finance Director, I know you've depreciated this, so you have to know how much it costs. Can you please give us that number?" If someone were in the finance department and wanted to be involved.
Doesn't the master plan have like a list of things that would be
Major
good?
items
Yeah,
and-
like good, like things we should be doing in the next 5 years or so.
Yeah, but I don't think there's a value attached to it.
There's no value
No,
or cost, if you will.
no cost.
But so is the township looking for something from us in this like?
Yes, they want us to come up with.
They want
you
us to
know,
list anything of value that is over $5,000 in terms of repairs or replacement, and say how much we want them to put in the capital improvement plan specifically towards each individual project for the next however many years. If we want to plan it for 50 years, we want to plan it for 10 years.
And at the last meeting, my whole thing, like, okay, we can recommend do this. My whole thing against this was, if you start doing it now, like, I get it, you're like setting a nest egg aside for when it needs done, but this whole thing locks money for 6 years.
Yep.
Unless they're making interest or something, like, why can't the township just create a separate fund,
Are they
put some
making-
money away, make some interest?
This makes no sense.
This makes zero sense, because what if a tornado does come through, our playscape isn't replaceable or insured, and it needs replaced next year?
There shouldn't be a 6-year stipulation on it.
Well, that was the thing with our roof. We thought we could use this money for our roof. And they said, no, because you got to wait the 6 years.
Well, at first, they thought we could. They thought we could use it.
Yes, and then they went into it and found out.
They didn't like what I had to
Why,
say.
as a
and
township, are we putting money into this?
So they looked into it more and found out that the entire township was doing it all wrong for the last year anyway. So
There's probably some like federal Politburo compliance.
Yeah.
Is why it's not like
it's because we have our own sewage plant, and when you have your own sewage plant, you have to have a capital improvement plan.
vis-a-vis federal.
Yeah, it's federal. It's a
Some
federal rule,
regulation.
which makes sense for like the sewage plant itself specifically. But I don't understand why it's a necessity across the whole township. And don't get me wrong, it is a good thing. You should put money away and plan for
Absolutely.
stuff, definitely. But
But you should be able to touch it also. It shouldn't be locked away for 6 years.
Yeah, where's that was my whole thing. What's the benefit of it being locked for 6 years? Are they making interest on this? Are they?
$1 a year
hope.
to it. Oh, there we go. Then we have the rest of the money. You have access to it if something happens.
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing. No, here's the deal. We didn't put money into it last year. Like, we didn't plan for it. We asked for our capital outlay money like we normally get in our budget. And since we didn't do the capital improvement plan, they didn't give us any capital outlay money. And we had $0 to work with this year. They cut our maintenance, our general maintenance down.
So basically, when
They
it comes
cut
to our
everything
budget,
down
we
on
can
us
just
this last
request
year.
more money again and see what they'll approve. Like, that's all this is.
Request way up here.
Like we said, you guys like laugh every time Carol's like, well, let's go after 400,000 instead of 200. Like,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah.
What's
Well, and there are grants. I mean, we can look into that, and, you know, I was disappointed that the grant we went for we didn't get, but, you know, we can try again for other grants, and maybe they've got one for, well, I know they've got them for skate parks,
The
but,
money that we bought Mannequin Smith,
you know,
right?
that's right. That's right.
So taxpayer money of the citizens of Bedford is then taken and locked away.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want any.
I'm assuming,
Zero,
I am
zero.
assuming
Thank
they
you.
are getting interest on this, but I
unless
don't know
there's
that.
unless there's
Don't-
a benefit
Carol, please
to the
don't assume.
lock of 6 years,
Yeah.
That's
which we haven't
Need to
been
find
provided
out.
with knowing.
Yeah, no.
Or this is like
Where and what they,
Not have one?
yeah,
Maybe you guys can have Bob show up in a meeting and explain it to us.
would love that.
Board meeting.
I think we need, is it Jody?
See what he has to say.
I think that's something you would have to ask. It's not,
Jody? Not Bob, I think we need to have Jody.
Yep.
I don't know. I think whatever page Mannequin Smith put together in our master plan of stuff to do in the near future is what this is in my mind. So like, cut and paste that and say here.
And obviously, just look at the main playscapes because we've already had complaints about broken items at Car, broken items at White.
Right.
Like
Right.
in the next 6 years, you're going to be replacing those.
Isn't that what insurance is for anyway? Why are we stocking money away in our sock drawer
That we can't touch.
to replace things that the insurance should cover?
Well, like I said, I think it's a government.
well, the insurance isn't gonna cover like the playscapes that are rusting and stuff like that. That's,
But you're
I-
talking about like the roof and stuff like that. I'm thinking more emergencies. So this, you're saying more improvement.
yeah, it's more of an improvement thing. It's not, yeah.
Improvement.
Oh, yeah, you can't use it for emergencies. That's the thing. You can't. That's what we were attempting to do with the car park roof, and that's
Right.
when the township found out that it was
Nope,
being done
we
wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get that. You're right.
So,
Like, hey, we want to pave a parking lot in the future. Hey, we want to add restrooms
Yeah.
in the future. Hey, you
Like-
know, those types of things.
Our wish list item that went to ARPA.
yeah.
That's essentially
Yeah.
what this
Send it
sounds
again.
like.
That
Yeah, I
kind
mean,
of
that's
thing,
kind of
yeah.
what this is. But like,
already done this.
just use the one Mannequin Smith made.
The only thing is putting the numbers to it. We just have to.
Well, I can send me the list. I can make
All
up
right,
numbers for
we will do
everything.
that.
Gladly. Take me 5 minutes.
All right. Let's
Okay.
kick this on down the road, and we'll move along. Back to public comment. Here we go. 5 minutes, Gail.
5 minutes.
Okay, I'll take,
I'm
No,
sure
it's
you have
two-
more.
I'll
I'm sure
take
you have
15.
2 minutes
2
per
minutes.
item, right?
Gail Kane, 105.6 West Temperance. Well, Todd beat me to it. I had right on here. You request a presentation from the township clerk and the financial staff to come to your park meeting and publicly disclose to you how this is all working. Because Ms. Hirschberger did mention it at a meeting.
She did.
So it really wasn't the way you guys are saying it, but it really was not drawn out into a long dissertation and explained well, because Lamar Frederick asked, is there something's not right? No, we've been doing it right. So something's not right someplace. So you deserve, the public deserves to know exactly what this is all about, exactly how it's supposed to work. Because like you said, you've asked for monies, you've tried to do things, you've had your patties spanked, you've been stood in corners, the whole 9 yards. So that would be the best thing to do. First off, is request a presentation from both of them. The other thing is that your notice on the closure, you should not have to be subjected to that. The kids are bad. We all know that. They do this kind of stuff. It happened to another person that had ran for office. Your notice needs to go up onto that skate park that says who closed it, who locked it, and their phone number put on it. I'm sorry if he didn't have the courage to do so, but that's what's happened. It's the township put the authority there. You post it, that's who's done it and why it's been closed, and that also has to deal with the legal liabilities, and then you walk away. That's all there is to it. They're going to cut the fence. If the stuff's down inside, they may not have reason to go in there, but Kids are kids, and if they're bad kids, they're going to do whatever they want no matter what. So that's what needs to happen with that. As far as the new criteria, you ask the township to submit to you, not you submit to them. You've got your 5-year plan. That is your improvement. That's what you paid, big, big money for those hands that are going deep into the pockets of Bedford Township. You had them put that together. That's your 5-year plan. That's what you want to do. But you don't understand how the process works, so you can't very well plot what you don't know. So you ask the township to submit to you the insurance values of everything and anything you own and what the values are on all your pocket parks, and now you've got something that you can talk about.
Yeah, that's 2 minutes. Thank you.
I'm good to go.
Thanks, Gail. All right, anybody else want to comment?
Do we,
Go ahead.
I thought the whole point of this coming was to kind of go over what remains of our budget and everything and all. Do we, not on here, do we not have like a, what are we aiming for in the spring and through the next
We
year?
don't
Where
have
we're
much
out?
left in our budget. There's
We don't
like,
have much left in our budget. That's-
general maintenance wise, $13,000.
We have like,
Where did it go?
we spent 10 grand on mulch 2 years ago and we're going to be doing it again.
Oh,
Do
God.
We have like,
It got spread across a bunch of little stuff.
what?
Tables.
We should have
grand
had
under.
$65,000.
No, we had like 30, maybe 40. I don't believe we had 65,000 to start the year with.
That's what I thought this whole meeting was, to discuss our budget. Not move it anywhere and vote on where it's going, just to look and see, here's where we stand. Here's the plan for what we're doing in spring.
We can add that to our next meeting.
Absolutely. 'Cause I haven't seen a budget breakdown since prior to us pushing it for what came July 1st.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Well, and we're not getting,
Maintenance general.
We're
Things
getting
that
fed
we
around
used
the
to
bush
get.
on things of here and there.
When
Where's
was the
our
last
money?
time you
What do
got
we
an
have?
RER report?
I just looked at it today. I got it a few days ago.
Okay, so how much money was left in maintenance general?
I believe it was right around 13,000.
How much?
13.
The one I'm looking at has 29. This was from a few months ago. But we spent $26,000 in the last couple months.
If that was 29, it's at 13, 16,000.
well, mowing, I mean, that's where their big expense
This
is.
is from 9/30. So in the last month and a half, did we spend
I think we had to transfer some out to cars cleaning, janitorial.
$26,000 worth?
No, not $26,000 worth, but there's been a lot of little projects that have been done.
Like, we
money's
spend
been
money to support a revenue source, and the revenue is
Drawn in
not.
20 grand from the calls.
We
Well, I'm
we
just
don't.
like-
None of the generated revenue goes into our budget.
Yeah, like
it
we're-
all goes
We're
to
putting money into these
Exactly why
facilities
I
that make money,
apologize
but
to
then
the
we don't
public,
get the money.
But if you rent the place, don't get a hold of me.
Like I said, our budget
I
wasn't
don't
much
care
this year.
about
I mean,
your
it was slashed.
Do we even have a budget?
Yes, what does
I
it
figured
say
just,
we
like,
started
The
the-
township has money, and if we come up with stuff and they say they'll do it, then they do it, and if they don't, they won't.
exactly where I'm at. Like,
Yeah, like,
if we're
what's
not going to
the-
go over a budget and a breakdown, then I
I put it out of my mind that we have a
bid for
budget.
mulch. We need mulch.
Give it to the
So be it.
township.
Be good stewards with the public's money. Don't spend more than you need to, and like I just figure we don't have a
We
budget.
were
The township
for
has all the money.
years
And,
following our budget and keeping a number and a line and
Oh,
Yeah, it seems
the baseball
ridiculous.
the baseball field at Carr Park was a little over
9,000,
$10,000.
yeah.
It was over 10, a little over 10, or right around something like that.
We had $40,000.
That was the biggest
in the
one.
budget. We had spent 10 as of 9/30.
Mm-hmm.
So in the last 2 months,
That doesn't sound right. I could be off. Maybe there's more than 13, but yeah.
can you?
Yeah, I'll double
request-
check and I'll request a
Email and request everyone to get a copy of the RER,
There we go.
yeah.
revenue and expense report.
Yeah.
let's say we ran out of money and there was 2 months left.
We'd have to.
Would the township
have to ask-
be like, okay, parks, nothing's happening, shut yourselves down? Or would we just continue to bring stuff and they'd continue
We'd
to
just continue
pay
to
for
bring
what they think
stuff
they
and-
should pay for?
Right.
So like, I mean, we don't have a budget. We don't have any money.
why
Yeah.
this
Like,
is-
it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's all the public's money. It's fine. I mean, be good stewards and bring things to the township that
Right.
we think need to be brought, and don't if they don't. And just keep doing that. It sounds like.
that's why apologize for sounding bitter at meetings and just negative, but that's like where this stands, and it's frustrating as ever.
It's okay.
Okay. Any other comments? Jazz, anything you want to
long as we're clear,
add?
right?
No? I've got nothing. You guys? Anything else? No?
No.
Okay, all right. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.